All right. Anyone else didn't receive an invite?
I don't know if I'm an organizer or because I've been going through LastPass on, so I don't know if I'm an organizer or not.
Okay. Let me add you. Give me your email.
Corbin, Corbin, dot Randel at TU.edu.
And whatever picture, anyone else?
Yes, I also am in the same situation.
Okay. And anyone, wait, hold on one second. Whenever you add your picture, just use the most professional picture you guys have, because this is about entrepreneurship in it. And so, okay, give me that email.
It's AIMEEF at live, LIVE, .unc.edu.
No,
UNC.
Oh, UNC. I was about to say, because I was about to say I didn't know you went to UNT. Yeah. All right. Anyone else? All right. Okay. So, all right. So, just respond to that, and then that way you can do some stuff. So, I'm clicking sponsors. Right now, we're the only sponsors. When we're in person, we have a coffee sponsor usually, and we'll also have like a facility sponsor. Like if it was a someone letting us use their office space to have our meetings, that's where they would be, and we would mention them in the meeting. I already have a banner, so that's fine. All right, so before I start talking about like dishing out any tasks, go ahead and ask any questions you might have.
I have a question quickly about reaching out to past presenters. I saw that the Gmail credentials are in the resource section. Should Corbin and I be using that instead to be more professional?
You don't have to do that. The Gmail credentials, I don't even know if that works. You can try it.
Okay, because I've been using my personal.
I welcome you to try it.
Okay.
Otherwise, you can just email them from Labo Labs.
All right, thank you.
And I know that we have the ability to add more. Like we have the admin, we have HR. I know we can do sales, and I know we could do like info or something like that. We just haven't set it up yet. Okay. Anyone else have any questions?
You mentioned voting on new businesses. Does the vote have to be unanimous because you're explaining like when you downvote?
So if the person gets 3 votes up, then they're gonna go through. It doesn't have to be unanimous, unless it's like something serious, right? You know, something that somebody knows that's important, and then we would be like, you know, an objective situation. It has to be bad. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Anyone else have a question? All right. So everybody understands how the format goes at 1 Million Cups too? We have 2 speakers come. We start off just introduction. Then we talk about what 1 Million Cups, what it is. And then we introduce a speaker, let them speak. We give them 6 minutes, then 20 minutes Q&A. And then we might have community announcements in the middle. Anytime, and then we'll have the next speaker speak. Anytime there's any like delays, at that time start letting people, I'll call people out and say, hi, I haven't seen you before here. Why don't you come off of mute and introduce yourself? And in that way, you know, I'm kind of using that opportunity to be productive instead of us just sitting there quietly. Or I allow people to talk about their community announcements, because sometimes we do face some technical issues. Now, whenever someone submits and we approve them, they're going to get an automatic email from 1 Million Cups, but we also send an additional email, and here's why. 1 Million Cups sends out a general email of you are approved, and that's pretty much it. You're approved, you've been confirmed for this date. It doesn't really prepare people for what type of presentation is expected or anything. I actually made a walkthrough video and gave examples on what to expect so that they're not blindsided, right? Because there's some people who don't know anything about 1 Million Cups, and we want to make sure that they're well prepared for that day, and they also understand the nature of our organization. Because one of the things that is different from us is when people see 1 Million Cups, they, for some reason, associate us with like a Shark Tank experience. And it's not like that. They also think it's an opportunity to pitch for investments. It's also not that. Sometimes they also think that it's a place for you to pitch your business so that you can get customers. It's not that. 1 Million Cups is for educational purposes. The whole objective for them to come and speak to us is to get practice presenting their business, which is needed for entrepreneurs, but also for them to let the community know who their business is and how we can support them, and also ask for help in what they're lacking. If they're needing help with anything with marketing, or if they're having, like, if they just have a question they couldn't answer, it's the time to talk to other people who've been in your position to get answers. So that's what our community is about. And we have people come back over and over again so that they can continue learning through osmosis, because you actually learn from watching other companies present and get their questions answered. But you can also contribute your wisdom. When another business that is struggling comes up, you can actually give back to the community by just giving your insight and perspective. The type of feedback we like to give is between their overall presentation, and also just tips on their business and any ideas and suggestions we can give. Because some people will come to 1 Million Cups and they've never had to present their business ever. They just started out and they've never made a presentation in their life, or they haven't done it since college. So giving them feedback on how to make their pitch better is very important. Just to give you an example, what is this lady's name? You guys know Canva, right? You all have used Canva.
Yes.
Yes.
Her name is, and I'm going to kick myself, Melanie Perkins. Melanie Perkins practiced her pitch for 10 years in order to get Canva the way to where it is now. Canva is not an overnight success. They have been pitching that business for 10 years and turned down over and over again. And every time they got turned down, they would go back and perfect their pitch, because sometimes that's what it comes down to when it comes to getting the money you need. And now they're worth like $2 billion, I believe. And she's not done. So just to give you an idea, it helps a lot. So any other questions? All right. So here are some of the roles that we need filled. We need one person who is going to research or actually look at that information when someone submits a new business. So let's say an intake person. All you're going to do is be clicking on that link and looking down at them and give a thumbs up or down. Okay. All right, I'm just writing this down so that another person can send out the email, the Tuesday night email. Another person can follow up with the business and schedule them. once they've been approved, another person can read off comments and suggestions. Another person can also host. And just so you know, all organizers can host. It's not like one person has to be responsible for that. If, like, for instance, next Wednesday, I'm going to be occupied and I can't host, so somebody else is going to have to do it for me, probably Angela. But just letting you know, in the future, anyone else can do it as well. And prospecting, finally, prospecting. Basically, reaching out to other business owners or calling back business owners who have presented and asking them if they'd like to come back and present again. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. Give me 1 second. Okay, I'm back. All right, so we have 6 tasks. And just to let you know, just because you're on this call, it does not mean you'll be the only one responsible for these types of tasks. There's just other people who weren't able to be here today, but everyone that's watching this recording, we can have more than one person over these things. That way it's not all falling to one person. And there could be 2 people who are responsible for instance, prospecting. And if one person is tied up, another person can take care of that. What's the commitment? It's just basically as needed. So maybe 1 week we won't have anyone submit an application, and next week we'll have 2. It just depends. So the frequency of it, the only thing that's like standard is going to be sending out that Tuesday email and you know, reading off comments and things like that. So with that, you know, every time I do this and I offer up the different roles, you know, nobody really volunteers to do stuff, and I end up just having to pick somebody. Corbin, yeah, Corbin is already doing the email, so that's taken. So let's talk about the most important things. Intake. Who can volunteer to intake? Be the person to, once someone, okay, that's Taylor. Awesome, thank you. And the next most important thing is scheduling. Actually calling either calling or emailing that business and letting them, telling them what day they can speak, or asking them what Wednesday can they do. A Satari. Awesome. All right, and the next most important thing is prospecting. Maybe on which that includes either calling back previous presenters. Like, remember when I clicked companies, right? You could see all the people who previously presented. What you could do is just go down that list and email them and say, hi, we have a script anyway, but the script is basically saying, hi, we saw that you presented. Would you be interested in coming back? So who can send out those emails? Alexa. All right. All right, and the last 2 things we have is hosting, right? So kind of moderating the room and reading off comments. Moderating the room or reading off comments and questions. So what I'll do is Terencia and Amy, is there any hesitation around hosting, or is that like a area of like, I don't think I would be good for that just because I have issues in that area. Okay. All right. Go ahead, Amy. What were you saying?
I was going to say I can do that because I can make most of those meetings on Wednesday mornings. It's just this morning I had a different circumstance and couldn't make it.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so I'll put you on as a possibility of hosting. And Terencia, can you handle just reading off comments and questions in the chat box? Yeah, she says she can do that. Okay, great. So these are what I'm going to be working on doing, guys, is finding a partner in this for each role, right? So that there's two. So if you are watching right now and you heard the roles, just maybe we can do a poll, Corbin and Amy. We could do a poll and ask tag certain people at the bottom to select which task. And it would be intake, sending out emails, follow up, reading off comments, hosting, and prospecting. And also just know that myself and Angela are here to support and everything. 1 Million Cups is going to get back to us whenever they get back to us. I guess they were cool about it. They're like, oh, well, maybe they're doing a good job. I don't feel like they have to do an onboarding. I don't know. Because I don't mean to pat myself on the back, but when I became an organizer for 1 Million Cups, Fort Worth became the premier 1 million Cups in Texas. And that's because we started marketing really hard and doing things that other 1 Million Cups weren't doing. The biggest problem that I ever faced with 1 Million Cups organizing is you got to rely on your team. See how I had to like dish out different tasks? We had a lot of organizers that just wanted to come to the meeting so that they can make business connections, but they actually didn't want to help. So it actually just was me and 2 other people that were running the whole organization. And those 2 people were like, I'm out after this. I'm out. I'm done. You take it because I can't handle it anymore. And that's when I took over all responsibilities. So your support is very appreciated. And this is a good thing to put on your resume, 1 Million Cups, because it's a well-known organization and very respected. And it's a way to show that it's also a way to create a paper trail showing your investment in small business and entrepreneurship. And that may help you later on in life, you know. So I really appreciate you all, and thank you for showing up, and we will talk again soon. Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All righty.